Hello and welcome to episode 43 of Zero to Hero. Yes, welcome back to episode 43 of Zero to Hero. I'm Wes, and in today's episode we're going to be taking on Barnet and MK Dons in League 2. Now, since you were last with me, we've been on a pretty poor run of form. Last time you saw us, we lost against Luton and then lost against Cardiff in the FA Cup 5th round, which means we're out of that competition. And since then we haven't won a game. We've only played 4 games. We've lost 3 and drawn 1. We followed up the Cardiff loss with a 2-0 home defeat to Gillingham. We then held Port Vale to a 0-0 draw away from home. Followed that up with a 4-1 home loss to AFC Wimbledon. And finally, in our last game against Crewe, we lost 3-2 away from home. We were 2-1 up, but we conceded an 88th minute equaliser and then a stoppage time winner for Crewe. Unfortunate, which has prompted a bit of a change in tactic. I've been experimenting going back to the 4-3-1-2 and that hasn't worked. I've tried going back to the 5-2-3, that hasn't worked. So I've tried to go with something completely different. That you'll see now. We'll go through to our first game ready for. We're going with a diamond in midfield, basically just dropping the ball winning midfielder back into the gap between midfield and defence, just to try and bridge the gap, because I've been noticing that as my fullbacks run forward, they're leaving the wings exposed, because our only width comes from our wing backs. Now, putting in a ball winning midfielder, or maybe even having him as the half back maybe might be a better option. Have him there just to fill in when the full-backs do run forward, just so we're not left exposed at the back. Now, this is the starting 11 we're going with for our first match of today's episode against Barnet. We've gone with Fasten in goal, a back 4 of Freeman, Barkworth, Young and Cox, a defensive midfield of Earring, and then Whitehouse and Yearwood playing just in front of him. And then Reeves playing in behind Mail, who is now back from injury, replacing Amadou Ba, who has been on a bit of a goal drought just recently, and Appiah, who has still been scoring for us. We're going on a counter-attacking mentality, structured team shape, with retained possession, exploit the middle, play narrower, drop deeper, be more disciplined, a much higher tempo, close down more, and look for the underlap rather than the overlap, because that seemed to work better in the 5-3-2 when we was playing with wing backs. So I'm hoping that that can help us in this formation. Of the 10 games we've played against Barnet since the game started, we've won 5 apiece, no draws. So I'm hoping we can just edge it here. It would go a long way to re-establishing us in contention for promotion. As things stand, we have dropped into the playoffs. We're down in, I believe, 6th place. As things stand, 7th place. It's worse than I thought, but we are only 7 points behind Barnet, who we play now. So if we can beat them, we would cut that gap down to 5 points, maybe even 6 points. It'll be 6 or 5 points. I can't remember. My maths isn't too good. We've got quite a lot of possession, so if we carry on with this possession and not making any chances, then I will go on to control. We have got loads and loads of possession. I'm going to go on to control, see if we can do anything to force the issue. I can't have us have that much possession at home and not create anything. We've not had a shot on target yet. We've had 5 shots and we haven't hit the target. We've got a highlight finally in the 33rd minute. Freeman with the ball to Yearwood, playing it forward to Appiah, to Mail, and it was an easy save for the keeper because it ricocheted off the defender. Young now winning the ball back in defence though. Appiah's through. Can he square it to Mail? He does, but he's hit the bar. A great opportunity for him to score coming back from injury. Reeves with the ball to Yearwood with a shot from distance, and that's 1-0, 34 minutes in. Great goal from Yearwood there on the edge of the area, all from the throw-in. Reeves played it across to Yearwood right on the edge of the area, and it was a fantastic effort from him. And that would move us up to fourth place, only 4 points behind Barnet. And this would be the first win under this new formation. Everybody seemed to be playing well in this tactic for now. We've gone in at half time 1-0 up, and we seem to be dominating the stats at the moment. We've had only one clear-cut chance and we've taken it, but we have had 9 shots and one of those was on target, which was the goal. We are dominating possession with 62% so far. We're also not committing as many fouls as Barnet, although one thing with this tactic I've noticed, we don't get a lot of highlights, so we really do have to take our chances when we get them. We're 60 minutes in, we haven't had a highlight in the second half yet. Everybody playing okay, nobody really playing any better than anybody else apart from Yearwood, obviously, who scored. We're 70 minutes in now. I'm going to make some substitutions. Mail dropping down to a 6.4, so he's going to come off. We're going to bring on Kajar in his place. We'll swap Appiah and Kajar around. And we'll also... Has anybody picked up a booking? I don't think they have. I don't know what to do. We'll see how Barkworth... Because Barkworth, I'm sure, can play as a defensive midfielder. He can. So we'll swap him into defensive midfield role, and we'll give a debut to Toby Stevenson, a player that I brought in during the January transfer window, but we've yet to play him. I know we've got Humphreys on the bench, but I want to give him a try, see what he's like. I want to give Stevenson his first appearance for us. He's been sat on the bench for a while and we haven't played him yet, so this is his chance. Into the 85th minute now, and still no more highlights. I'm going to make my final substitution. We're absolutely dominating them. We've had 19 shots, only 2 on target, but we've had 19 shots. I'm going to bring off... I don't really know who to bring off. Reeves is knackered, but we don't have another attacking midfielder. I think we're going to bring on... We'll bring on Conley, because Appiah's not playing too well at the moment. Conley did actually get a goal for us against Crewe in the last game, coming on as a substitute. He doesn't do well when he starts, but he does play well as a substitute. But that's it, it's full time. We've just edged this one 1-0. Great goal from Yearwood in the first half. Quite a boring game really, but I'll take a win just to end that losing run that we've had. Okay, so we're ready for our second game of today's episode against MK Dons at home. A team we have struggled against in recent seasons, and they are favourites for today's game because they are in better form than us, but they did lose their last game and we won our last game, so hopefully we can pick up the win today. We've made a couple of changes for today's lineup. Barkworth has been pushed forward into the half-back position. He's better there supposedly than Jack Earing, so he's dropped to the bench today, and we've brought in Humphreys at the back to partner Young in the central defensive area. And other than that, we've swapped a few players around on the bench. We've brought Elvis onto the bench because he's been complaining about getting first team football. We've brought Charlie Good back onto the bench, Chettle back onto the bench because we had far too many strikers on the bench considering we only play with 2. We've brought Amadou Bar back onto the bench, and we've dropped the likes of KK, who's on international duty, Toby Stevenson, who got his debut in the last game, and Aaron Connolly, who hasn't played very well since coming to us at the beginning of the season, so he's likely to be going towards the end. Same mentality, same team shape, although I think we're going to go on to control because we seemed to play better when we went on to control last time. I'm hoping we can pick up another win and start to climb that table again. We are still only 4 points behind Barnet, so a loss from them today means we could potentially close that gap to just the 1 point. And it's a good save from Fassen 5 minutes in. MK Dons were through. They've got the corner. Can we defend it? They've played it out to the edge of the area and they've had a long shot. It's easy for Fassen to get hold of. From the looks of things, Barnet are losing already, so we could potentially go within a point of them. We're defending again. Young wins the ball back at the back, plays the ball forward to Mail, who's through on goal. A very, very tame shot from him. He's not been the same since he's come back from injury. He had a couple of bad injuries earlier on in the season, and since he's come back, he's not been at all like himself. Gillingham must be losing their game. They've gone 1-0 down to Crawley because we've been pushed up to 4th, despite the fact we're still drawing 0-0 with MK Dons. Although Barnet have got a goal back against Exeter. We're getting into the tail end of the season now, where we want to be winning as many games as we can, try and push up into those automatic promotion spots. The playoffs would be okay, but I'd rather go up automatically. Our front two, or our front three, not having the best of games at all. Reeves, Appiah and Mail all below a 6.6, which is poor. We go into half time at 0-0 without, with only one highlight in the first half, and it was just that tame shot from Mail, who has been booked in the first half, so we'll have to keep an eye on him. Although Mail's through on goal again, and that was a shot high and wide early on in the second half. We're defending a corner now and they've headed that wide. 50 minutes in, still nothing. We're going to have to make some changes soon. I think we're going to be bringing off Mail because he's got 4 more minutes, he's had an awful game. He's been booked, he's on a 6.3, and we need to get someone else on, probably Amadou Ba, who can potentially break his goal drought today. Yeah, we'll bring on Amadou Ba for him. We'll drop him back into his preferred target man role on support and hope that he can get something for us. Whitehouse not having a very good game either at the moment, so he may be going off soon. I have started occasionally using the shouts when we've not been playing too well. I've not really noticed much of an effect with them, to be honest. We have dropped back down to 5th, by the way. Boston obviously going ahead in their game. We're 79 minutes in, they're 4-0 up against Barrow. Oh dear. Appiah's going to be coming off now because he's had an awful, awful game. Kajar's going to come on for him. And I think we're going to bring Whitehouse off and bring on Chettle. See if he can do anything for us. We're going to go attacking once these changes are made as well, because we've not really done much in terms of attacking. We're going to go on to flexible as well. We're going to change up some of these team instructions. We're going to go more direct passing, be more expressive. We're going to pump the ball into the box. Got 2 minutes of normal time left. We're into stoppage time now. 3 minutes, and this could be a very boring 0-0 draw to end the episode. We're defending a free kick though. Kajar comes away with the ball to Reeves, to Barr. We've got 10 seconds left, but we've lost the ball, and I don't think we're going to get it back. And that's it. It is 0-0. It was a bore draw. We had 14 shots, 4 on target. We couldn't score a goal. Mail with probably the best of our opportunities today. We did defend very well. Connor Young winning man of the match on a 7.7, but it was an awful game from our strikers. We need to improve that moving forward. At least we didn't lose, so we have had an episode where we are unbeaten. We'll have a quick look, see where we're going to come back. Probably be the last 2 games of the season. Now we're against Notts County and Wickham. We'll play Yeovil, Lincoln, Grimsby and Crawley behind the scenes, and hopefully we can push back up into that automatic promotion spot and potentially get promoted this season. Otherwise it will be the playoffs, which will come obviously after the Notts County and Wickham games. So if you like that, please give it a big thumbs up. Please smash that like button for me. Don't forget, follow me on Facebook and Twitter at WeaselGamer TV for both of those. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe for more Football Manager 18 content. And thank you very much for watching.